Mandela tried to control it, and he did. He did keep them in very... he allowed them to do everything, and he allowed the blacks to do whatever they wanted to. And Johannesburg, which was very, very beautiful city, there were bazaars and cinemas and big buildings. The owners, who were white people, couldn't even keep up paying the taxes on those buildings, and they just left him. Blacks used to go there and live in these buildings. They used to live in front of the buildings. They really lived. They made it wasn't a city anymore. It was completely different. And what did happen is that, now let me try and think, even where Stephen was born and your dad, that area became all black. There were no whites there. And the school where Sheila went was called Bonato Park. Today there's no white girls there anymore. It's all black, the school. And even King Edward's today, where Laurie and Stephen went, has mostly blacks. There are very few white people there. The whites are in a different area, higher up in Glen Hazel, and they live. But they've got to live in such conditions that they have to have someone who stands at the gates of their homes, who looks after the place with a gun and sees that no sort of dangerous people enter. They've got to put electricity around their homes in case somebody breaks in, because there's a lot of crime. A lot of these black people never had the education, and they had nothing. They had to live in places called Soweto. They showed it on television recently. They lived in little huts, no water, no lights, no nothing. And all of a sudden these people were given the privilege of having these homes, and they resented it, but Mandela kept it under control.
Ethel, you tell us the story. I love this story. When you used to crash parties with your siblings.
Well, that was when we were students. We were we lived in a place called Allendine. It was in Berea, which has also become black today. The Berea Shul is not there anymore, and that area was where Sheila's school was, Bonato Park, which is also a black area. Well, this was before that period. I lived at a place called Allendine, and we were about 10, 12 of us students. A lot of us students, and the guys who lived next to us. And often we had nothing to do, like on whenever they had the party, mainly on a Sunday night, if we had nothing to do, come on, let's go and gate crash, we called it. They used to have weddings or the mitzvahs in a hall called the Ginsberg Hall, which was a big hall. There were probably quite a few functions there. And we used to go there and enjoy the parties. So one day, there were a few of us at the party, and a woman comes back and she sees about 10, 12 of us. She says, come, yeah, I want to talk to you. So she stands and comes, puts us in a separate room and says, tell me, who of you know the bride? So a few of us said, yes, we know her. And she said, and tell me, who of you knows the bridegroom? The others put up their hands and said they did. At any rate, this is not a wedding, it's a bar mitzvah, so you're not supposed to be here. Get out. At any rate, that was one of the incidents, and this used to happen pretty often. This was just, but we weren't, it was just naughtiness. It wasn't really like a crime or anything. And people's attitude was so different too. And that's what happened.